Starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right, everybody. This is Mike Long. We are getting started with an acceleration webinar. I'll begin with the Lord's Prayer, and we'll go from there. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Okay, everyone. We are kicking things off. I'm going to jump into... I posted a little bit about this in the Facebook groups that we're getting started here. So I just wanted to jump into the beginners group and post a note there. And then we're going to jump right into things. We're going to go pretty fast and furious today. Let's see, starting now. If you want to, there's a couple of ways that you can give us feedback. One is to post in your chat box in GoToWebinar. The other way, probably even the preferable way, is to go to the NHB Team Facebook group. I'll pull it up right here. Here we go. This is the NHB Team Facebook group, and it's all already so lively. There's already a bunch of new comments, so you can say hi here. If you're on now, you can post here, and this will be pretty lively. And throughout the event, might do some feedback and so forth as we go along. Now we've got somebody very special here. Actually, we've got three special guests today. We have one guest who joined us late in the game, so I'll announce him very, very shortly. But we've got one guest, David Hood, and David has a module inside of your training area, and it's a very popular module. It's on client getting. It goes into getting clients, doing the actual pricing for clients, what it is that you should charge people. And David has a bit of a tool that you can use that people really like. And also following through with those clients and, keeping them on as customers and how we report to them and how we, help them get rankings and make money with them and so forth. So that'll be one main topic. We're actually going to probably cover, there's three big ways to make money with OMG once you get up and running with your SEO. The three are SEO consulting, which David's going to really focus in on, selling your own products like on Amazon, and we're going to have Brad Mabry on later on to talk about that. And then there is also doing affiliate marketing, which Brad may touch upon a little bit. Our mystery guest actually does all three of these, so we'll be hearing from him as well. So this is all going to be really cool. David Hood, are you there?
I'm here.
All right, great. Let me pull David up on Facebook. And what we're going to start by talking about is, actually, I might not have him on this Facebook. What we're going to start by talking about is David's first 60 days, like what things were like when he was first joining us. Now, last year for 2013, David joined us early on. I think you were actually with us at the beginning of 2013. David wound up having a very successful year, made well over $100,000. So there's a lot to gain from this. And this is one of the really cool things about OMG is that we get to benefit not just from Greg Morrison, the guy who I call the original one-man gang, not just from me and not just from David Mills, not just from Fletch, but we just have so many members that have had so much success, and getting to pull in from their example and learning from them makes such a big difference in all of our success. We gain so much insight into things. And so that's going to be really, really valuable. Now, I want to tell you with these acceleration webinars, these are about where the money's being made right now. And so we'll zoom in with different OMGers typically and go over exactly where the money's being made right now, techniques that they're using, trends that they're seeing, insights that they have, and it really sparks a lot of aha moments. Now, these are not like Fletch and Greg's webinars. Oh, Jim Utzinger's on. That's awesome. Maybe we'll have Jim pop on at some point and talk. Hopefully, if he can. These are not so much about question and answer. as they are about me showing you where the money's being made right now. We certainly will answer some questions, but with Fletch and with Greg's webinars, with their coaching office hours, really every question gets answered, and those are just so wonderful. There's also Sunday Fun Day that's coming up in your beginners Facebook group, and that's another wonderful opportunity to get rapid fire questions and answered and so forth. And of course, your Facebook group is yet another way. So we really hit things from so many different angles. And I also want to point out, if you haven't asked for your Project Juggernaut blueprint yet, make sure to email me at omg@omgmachines.com. That's omg@omgmachines.com. If you email me at omg@omgmachines.com, then I can send you over that blueprint, and it's a terrific resource for getting started. So let me just pull this up here, omg@omgmachines.com. So David, we've got a limited amount of time with you here. We're going to get into basically three topics here with you. One is what you did in your first 90 days or 60 days, your first 60 days to set the foundation for your success. This is not necessarily, I don't even really remember whether you were super fast with bunches of earnings reports right away, or if it took you a while. I know you definitely picked up steam as you went, but more, what are the things that you did? What are some of the training that you went through? You've actually pulled up some of your written notes from that time. Is that correct?
Oh, I've got lots and lots of notes. I take notes, and I use Evernote and OneNote. Evernote in the past and OneNote. So anything like I've got 2 years of SEO notes that I can go through if I need ideas on something. So anything, like I pulled up something since Joe Marfoglio, sorry if I said the name wrong, is on this call. I've got his notes up from his module when I took notes on that.
Well, that's gonna be really cool. You two have two of the most popular modules that we have inside of OMG. I'm inside of the Project Juggernaut members area. It's very similar to the Project X members area. We have people both from Project X and Project Juggernaut. If you're in Project Juggernaut, then you're pretty new, and we want to take this as in a sense as a new beginning, whether you're beginner, intermediate, or advanced. If you're in Project X, then I want you to think of today as a little bit as a new beginning, a little bit as a reset, not because there's anything wrong, but because we really do want to be able to sometimes stop and reflect and go back to square one, just to see if we can adjust things and do things even different, even better. And we're going to be focusing a little bit more today on the monetization section. Sometimes in acceleration webinars, sometimes I focus on SEO, but a lot of times I'll focus on monetization, which is turning your SEO into money. If I go into the monetization lesson page, and then if I go into the day job killer area, this is where we've got this wonderful module. We're not going to try to repeat this module today. We're just going to find out some new things from David that really complement it. And right here, acquisition, pricing, and follow-up, one of the most popular modules that we've ever had. We're going to go over three things today with David, and I'll quickly outline them for you. We're going to talk about David's first 60 days, what he did in his first 60 days to set the stage. Then we're going to talk about what he's working on today. And we're also going to talk about his insights moving forward into the future. So we've got kind of past, present, and what he's seeing coming up into the future, and what's particularly helping him kind of blaze a trail. And then we're going to, he's only going to be able to be on with us for about 15 or 20 more minutes. So we're going to make this tight and exciting. So David, let's go back to that first 60 days. When you first joined OMG. Now, the structure of OMG was a little bit different. This is before Project X. We still had a similar program that Project X would ultimately be carved from, called NHB, and we had a couple of kind of starter best practice liftoff courses. And again, we don't have that anymore. By the way, can you put the word out about OMG Live? A lot of people want to know what OMG Live is like. Just kind of randomly out of nowhere, I'll kind of jump to the beginning. omgmachines.com/live.php is when you find out about that. What was OMG Live Nashville like for you last year?
Oh, it was awesome. One of the things that I realized afterwards was it wasn't necessarily that I got there was new information. Jimmy's stuff was just Jimmy. It was awesome. I mean, it was. I had an understanding breakthrough, and this is from Zero Competition with David Mills. But I had like an understanding breakthrough on SEO. Like I had just like something changed in my brain, in that I got how to do SEO on a bigger picture, much better, based upon that, and based upon just kind of getting to talk and ask some questions and stuff like that. Not only that, but it was really fun to meet a lot of the people. I had a blast. Family stuff might keep me from it this year, but I will go back if I can. But it was just awesome, and even just like understanding. It's hard to explain. You can't say it in one word. I can't tell you understanding, but my understanding of SEO took a huge jump, which made me much more powerful, which made all my tasks more efficient because it was doing less things that were low value and more things that were high value, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm glad you say that. One of the things, with OMG Live Nashville, we don't really put, kind of counterintuitively, we don't really put the spotlight on me and David and Greg. We're there. Me and David and Greg are there the whole time, having conversations one-on-one with OMGers, and we're really available. We're typically at most, if not all of the meals. Not so much huddling together. There's no speaker table. There's no VIP section where we pull off, no platinum area where you have to run around and hope to, grab us for 2 seconds. We're really immersed at the event.
There's nothing else you're selling there. There's not like tapes to be bought at the back of the room or anything like that. Nobody's selling anything. It's just all action-packed information.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You and I had some really good talks at that event as well. Which I really enjoyed. Okay, so let's so that's kind of in the middle. Let's start with that first 60 days. So you got inside of OMG. Where were you coming from at that time, and what were your first 60 days like?
So I had been trying to do like local SEO since about this. So I joined NHB in, I want to say, almost exactly 2 years, about late November, something like that. But since the summer of 2012, so it was late November 2012 that I joined, I've been trying to do local SEO, and I hadn't really made a whole lot of money. I've been making a little sales here and there. I had joined another program that wasn't nearly as good. It focused more on how to sell, and then you kind of resold their SEO services, which were mediocre at best. And I really was looking for something that like allowed me to provide more value to my customers. There's this concept that you get paid more by becoming more valuable to the world, essentially. And I really try to take that to heart, and I really try to get the best program I could find. And as soon as I got into NHB, I was able to sell better just because I had more confidence. While I didn't necessarily understand everything or have the experience with everything, it was I got a couple of decent customers pretty quickly. It took a little bit. It took several months before before it steamrolled. I did get my Dallas SEO Geek site probably about 4 or 5 months later. I started almost immediately after joining NHB. 4 or 5 months later, I started getting calls, and those are the best. Yeah, some guys. I don't know what happened over the last week. I'm not number one. I've been number one for like 18 months. Now I'm like number 4. So if everybody goes on there and clicks on that guy's site, go there for only half a second, then come back and go to my site. But anyway, this site actually.
This site is a great.
It's all right. This site got penalized.
You can learn a lot from this website, though. I want to point out this site converts extremely well and is a great template for you to look off of. Don't copy it word for word; it won't help you. But
I don't get a lot of traffic, but I still get calls for it. I did get penalized in about a year ago with Penguin 2.1, and because I sent some magic submitter directly to it, which is unnecessary. So it's not ranking quite as well. But I do have other sites. The point is, for about 5 or 6 months, that thing was generating calls every day, and that was probably the most valuable thing. Now, that wasn't the first 60 days, but I started it in those first 60 days.
What led you to start that site?
Actually, I had bought it a year before. When I first was like thinking about quitting my job, so I quit my job early 2012. I saw that there was Dallas SEO, and I saw that it got searched a lot, and I thought, wow, that's something that, you know, if I could win that, that would be great. You know, it's kind of a pie in the sky type thing, and that's why the, you know, Dallas SEO Geek. You know, I did have the Dallas SEO at the beginning, and then just added my own little flavor to it, which is I'm a geek. I'm totally happy and proud to be a geek, and so I just thought, you know, if people could come to that site, the search, you know, you're kind of proving what you can do, what you say you can do, right? And those are the best leads possible because they came to you.
I want to point out that you are one of the people, you and Trish and Andrew Rydell and Jason Boyd, you are actually the people. I wasn't the person who originated the idea of city SEO. This is such a great example how OMG is a city on a hill, a place where friends come together in Providence, because you're one of the people that really led to all of the city SEO stuff. And the funny thing is, you really welcome it. You weren't like, oh, I don't want other people to know about this. And it's helped so many other people. Again, such a great example of paying it forward, because there is just so much business out there. You don't have to, like, your city SEO is one way of doing it, but there's so many different ways. And it was just great how you kind of paid it forward and helped pave the way for so many other people to have success with that.
Well, it paid me back because I stayed, even though all my other search phrases were penalized, like on page 8 or 10, I stayed #1 for Dallas SEO Expert for an additional year because my theory, which I think is correct, is that because everyone was searching on there, they were searching for Dallas SEO Expert, and they were looking specifically for me, and so I got clicked on, and so my engagement metrics were super, super high. Now, I haven't promoted it as much for a while, so that's probably why I'm going down. But so just by talking about it, I stayed at that spot for an additional year. So it came back and paid me, and I got even after I was penalized, I still got people searching that and clicking on my site.
By the way, you can probably disavow those magic links.
Yeah, I tried that, but I'm not overly concerned about it. I've got other cities and other sites. Like I am #1 for Texas SEO Expert and Austin SEO Expert, and Denver SEO Expert.
Expert. Yeah, and I know you also have teamed with a lot of OMGers. Now, when it comes to one of the things that you got grounded in your first 60 days, you really got grounded in SEO, and that really started building your strength. What were some of the things that really stood out for you in that first 60 days?
Oh man! Other than
and I want to point out that the techniques have changed a lot in the last 2 years. Things are much more PBN centric now, and we're using the lower quality links very, very differently, especially now that Jimmy Kelly is a part of our team and more and more. But that grounding in SEO still helps you today.
Absolutely. Well, there's a lot of people say, oh, well, SEO is changing so fast. Well, that's true, but there are still fundamental principles that have not changed and are not likely to change significantly. Like, for example, the title of a page matters a whole lot in what it ranks for, period. That's not going to change with any time soon, right? So no matter what algorithm change they make, maybe it's less important, but it's still going to be really important, right? So there's fundamentals that just aren't going to go away, or at least they're not going to change significantly anytime soon. So yes, I definitely got some fundamentals from that. I mean, the first thing I remember was actually that, wow, Greg really cares about the success of his students more than I would have expected. So he's making all this money, but then he would like pause a video to go find a link to save us $50 on something. Yeah. And it's just like, wow, his time is super valuable, and he's taking his time. He doesn't have to do that. To go find something for us, to do work for us. And so the first thing was that Greg is just, I don't know, just really impressed with not just him from an SEO standpoint, but him as like a person in general.
Now, as you started picking up steam, and I'll try to time things out to you a little bit, pass the baton over to Joe, and you can, in a sense, help introduce him. But that's still a few minutes away. When you started picking up steam, I remember you actually reached out to me a number of times, and we did a very first, we did actually something with you that's now in the field report section. We did a first kind of field report. It was a little bit of a reveal on some of the ways that you were getting clients, which was really cool. And then that ultimately led to your awesome module that people love so much. With what you're doing today, and I actually got an earnings report in, I think I passed it on to you. Let me see if I can find it on my computer somewhere to share with folks. It's kind of funny, just serendipitously, I got an earnings report from somebody who credited you with a big part of their success. Let me see if I can find this.
I can find it.
Oh, can you find it?
Yeah, I've got it right here. You've got a screenshot of it from Andrew Heaps.
Yeah. What
You
did
want to
Andrew
read
say?
it?
Yeah. Can you read it?
Yeah. Hi, Mike. I hope you are well. I'm looking forward to Nashville Live. I've just got my first job over the line this week, 1,000 plus $850 per month. Hopefully there will be 3 others coming up before I head off to the U.S. I realize I haven't joined the OMG NHB Face group and the OMG Beginners. Can you send me through the links? Blah, blah, blah. You say congrats. I added you to the group. Thanks, Mike. I've been inspired by all your acceleration Webbies. I do a lot of traveling on the road and I always listen to Webby while traveling. Also want to thank David Hood, yay, as I have used his video presentations format and spreadsheets to present to clients.
How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel awesome. The fact that I contributed positively to someone's life in a way that he's going to make money, it just makes me really happy. So I mean, it's just full of win. I mean, that's kind of what life's all about, right? Is and when you help other people, the feeling it's very unique.
Yeah, I love that. Let's get a little bit into what you're doing today. Now, you one of the things that you're seeing right now, you're a big fan of, and you're using something similar now that you've branched off on, but you're a big fan of the vSilo tool. That was one of the things that really helped you get your start. So let's again. These acceleration webinars really are to accelerate you. Part of the way that we accelerate you is by orienting you to all the wonderful things that are in your OMG members area. By the way, it really helped you a bunch to be kind of scatterbrained and to chase after shiny object once you joined us and hardly focus on OMG and just kind of dart here and there looking for the magic pill.
Yeah, back to that first 60 days, I spent a lot of time in OMG watching and rewatching videos and practicing. It's one thing just to watch them all, and then also taking detailed notes that I can refer back to, that I do refer back to even now.
Yeah, and of course,
so yeah, the vSilo is great. It's the vSilo is there's a bigger concept there, which is to build a conceptual tree for your site, which is as deep as you can, and the more pages that you can have, the better. And they're essentially those are valuable links. Essentially, when you silo things out, each page gets highly relevant links, and those count.
Yeah, because speaking of today, you just did a $4,000 deal, and I don't know who got the better deal, you or the client, because the client has a site that now ranks for 600 keywords.
Actually, well, they rank #1 within a couple weeks. They rank #1 for over 600 keywords.
Oh, #1 for over 600 keywords.
And they were on the first page for, I want to say, about 1,200 or 1,300, just like with the snap of my fingers.
And here's the crazy thing about it. That's with very few backlinks.
No links.
This with no backlinks. That's with no backlinks.
Links. Maybe one link to make Google aware of the changes, but I definitely didn't spend a bunch of money on links.
Right, and then on top of that, this is not a national site; it's a local site. So one of the things I want people to know that you've talked about, because we're a little bit transitioning from today into the future. We only have you for just a couple more minutes here. Is when it comes to the keyword tool, you really believe that a lot of the traffic out there is not on the quote-unquote highly searched terms. What do you mean about that?
Okay, so there's a statistic that Google actually gives that they say 33% of searches every month are brand new searches that no one's ever searched before. So let's think about that for a second. Those are just brand new searches. Now, if you go to the Google keyword tool, it'll show 10 or 0. There's not like 5 or 7 or 3. Now, maybe they round 7 up to 10. I don't know. But at a minimum, 4.9 and below, they're just showing 0 for. And I suspect that is that they only show maybe 20% of the total traffic. They only show non-zero values for the 20% of the total traffic. That's my guess. I think at a minimum, it's well under 50%. And what I see people doing, at least my interpretation, is that everyone they do the keyword research, they do it real quick. They pick the top 10 keywords that get searched the most, and they say, hey, we're going to go after these. So Dallas dentist, whatever, and then the next 9 that get searched most. Well, that's what everybody else is doing. That's what 99% of people are doing. So 99% of people are going after the same, in my estimate, 20% of traffic. And so how I was able to get those search phrases is be able to. I've got a process where I just try to identify those low volume search phrases that are, well, Google doesn't say they're getting searched, they are actually getting searched. So that 600 #1 rankings, they started getting about 200, a little over 200 visitors per month immediately, and they started getting a phone call or two every week for a service that costs between $5,000 and $50,000.
Wow, that's awesome. So what you're saying, to sum things up, and I think this is going to be a big aha moment, when it comes to local, you believe that 80% of the traffic approximately has essentially zero competition. Because
yes,
it's being reported as zero searches in Google, but that's just not true.
Of course, yeah. I mean, if it gets searched one time a month, if there's 1,000 search phrases that get searched one time a month, and you can rank #1 for half of those, then you're going to get traffic, and you're going to be. It's easy to rank #1 for it.
Yeah.
It goes back to the title of a page is highly relevant, and you have it in the title of your page, that exact search phrase, and no one else does. You're probably going to rank well for it. Period.
Yeah, and again, you can look in, if you want to look deeper into this idea, the V-silo is really probably the best way to get started with this. I want to do one last thing, if we have time. I know we only have a minute or two left. Is there any way, and we literally may not have time for this, do you have your tool that you use, your pricing tool?
Yeah.
Is there a way that we can show your screen and show you?
The calculator?
The calculator. Yep.
Yeah, you can.
This is very, very popular for people. So I'm going to make you the presenter. David's got has a commitment to pick up his daughter, so that's why we're tying on time. And by the way,
5-10 minutes.
Yeah, and by the way, I want to point this out. OMG is a city on a hill. David's here. He's donating his time today. Everyone who's on this event today, they're just donating their time out of the goodness of their heart, and it's just so wonderful. It really overwhelms me and makes me feel just so great and so proud of this community. All right, David. So what is this tool?
Okay, so this is something I created based upon my own experiences. Basically, CTR is click-through rate of the position right here. So in my experience, and this can vary dramatically, you can get over 50% and you can get under 20% with the #1 position. It really, really depends on a lot of factors. But on average, you're going to get about 37%. And there's one major thing that I use this to get people to understand, which is that the value of medium to low quality SEO is almost nothing. The value of high quality SEO is really effing high. So look at how much more valuable is it just to be at #1 versus #5? It's 10 times more valuable. And this is what I'll say in my sales presentation videos. So, someone who might be half as expensive as me, but if I can provide 10 times the amount of traffic, and really it's actually more than that because of that 80% that they're not going to even know to target, but if I provide 10 times more traffic, which one's a better deal for your business?
Right. So even if you're twice as expensive, if you're getting them 10 times as much traffic, then you're a 5 times better deal.
Right. In reality, because they don't know about that 80%, it's more like 100 times the amount of traffic.
Yeah.
So you can say that, but even at 10%, I mean, even at #5, which a lot of people aren't going to be able to get you to, most likely a lot of times people will be like, I'll get you on the first page, which is like 8th or 9th. Okay, so, you're talking 20 to 40 times more valuable to be #1.
Yeah.
Really what you want to be is you want to be just a full 2/3 of the traffic goes to the top 3 spots.
Great.
So
all right.
that's what I show them. This is the click-through rates. There's not a lot of clicks left, and being on the second page, other than showing progress from you were on the 3rd page last week or last month, there's no value there, especially for local search phrases where if something gets searched only like 50 times a month, being at the bottom of the first page is really going to provide no value. I mean, they might get a couple visitors a month.
Great. Okay. And now, how do you use this chart to come up with pricing for people?
Okay, so let's say I do some keyword research, and I estimate that what I can see is that there's a total keyword research traffic. I can calculate, just sum it all up, that search phrases that Google actually shows traffic for that have volume. Okay, so let's say that's 1,200. So they're a dentist or whatever in a city, and I do all the different dentist searches or all the different services that they're interested in, and it totals up to 1,200. Right? Mm-hmm. So what I do is I take that and I multiply it by 2. Again, when I made this, I didn't quite understand how much total traffic there was out there, and so I think this estimate is low, and you can say that. So I multiplied that traffic by 2 to say, look, even though this is showing 1,200, there's at least double this amount out there.
Got it.
And I'm also taking that and I'm discounting it by 30% by multiplying it by 0.7 to say maybe 30% of the searches are really just not something you're interested in. For whatever reason, we're going to discount it by 30%. So 1,680 total available traffic. Let's say you average number 3. Okay, so you get 10%. So that's good, averaging number 3 for all those search phrases. So you take that, and I multiply 10% by 1,680. So you're capturing 168 visitors per month. Okay, you take that. Let's say 20% of those visitors give you a call. Okay, so that's 20%. That's about 33 calls per month. And what's in blue here is what you can change. And these are the ones that are not in blue are formulas. So let's say a lot of times I'll go, look, let's just say conservatively, your site doesn't convert very well. Well, we can do that. But let's say we can get your site converting really well. It changes the number, right, automatically. Right. Okay, so what percentage of leads turn into customers? Now, this varies dramatically. Like with plumbers, it's going to be really high. With other businesses, it's going to be really low. But let's just say it's 20%. So now we've got 10 clients per month. What's the average? I like to use gross profit per customer. Okay, and it's sort of like profit per sale, essentially. You can't really do net profit per customer. It doesn't really make sense to calculate that. But let's say they get $500 in their pocket per customer. So that's a $5,000 revenue increase per month from SEO. And I like to do this because if these numbers turn out to be pretty low, let's say this was 500 and 20 and 250. Okay, well, you can do this real quick and go, well, you can just say, hey, I just don't think SEO is really something that is in your best interest, right? There's just not enough business out there for you. Now, let's say it's more like 2,500, and they make $3,000 per sale. Okay, well now this is a whole different story. Right?
Yeah,
we could make you $500,000 a year, a gross profit from SEO. Are you interested in that? And,
yeah.
are they going to say yes?
Yeah, this is wonderful. Now, this tool is in their members area. You provided it for them, so that's just a wonderful.
That's correct. It is in the members area.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
It's just an Excel spreadsheet that you can change whatever you want on here, and I think it's a great selling tool for explaining, hey, I might be more expensive, but it's worth it. You pay twice as. Let's say someone's half as. You're not going to get high quality SEO for $400 or $500 a month. It's just not going to happen. So why am I more expensive?
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they're fine paying more. In fact, they automatically value you more when you put more out there. I've hired people on Odesk, and when people bid like 5 times more than everyone else, instantly in my brain goes, wow, they must be really valuable. That doesn't mean I hire them.
Yeah.
But there's another story of like a store that accidentally marked up their prices. They meant to discount them by 1/3, but the guy misread it and they marked them up by 3 times and actually sold more.
Yeah.
Because people valued them higher. They just said, wow, this is probably going to be better.
Yeah.
And so don't be afraid to put high prices on there. Now, that doesn't mean you'll automatically get it, and that doesn't mean that you should always just, put $10,000.
Well, it should certainly give you confidence if you're just going for your first client, like Andrew was, $1,000 setup fee and $850 per month, certainly in line with what you're saying here. Now,
especially if you can make them $40,000 a month.
Yeah. Now, two things I want to send folks off with, before you leave, just I know you probably only have a minute or so to go.
Yes.
I want to point out you created a tremendous product. It's got a great reputation. It's been closed for months inside of OMG because you've been in your laboratory and underground. I've been trying to kind of twist your arm to reveal it again for people. This is something to keep an eye in your OMG Facebook group for, because I'm trying to get David to reopen it. It's Alpha Destruction. And this is really, really cool. I've gotten so many testimonials.
I did open it.
Did you open it back up?
I did open it just today for 24 hours. I'm opening it back up, and I'll probably open it again.
You got to leave it open for more than 24 hours if you're going to do that, because I've got the replay on this, and it'll take people. Can I get you to leave it open for a week? Could you just leave it open for a week?
All right, I'll leave it open for a week, and I don't really. I'm probably going to open it only 1 or 2 more times because I feel like the value of what I give in here is a lot higher. I mean,
Yeah.
I basically
And this is not an OMG product. This is something that David put together on his own. I'm not an affiliate to this, but I believe in this. I have it. I think it's excellent. So if you're interested in SEO client consulting, I really highly recommend you jump in on Operation Alpha Destruction. I think it's really outstanding.
It's all about client consulting, and because I don't want too many people having it. There's very limited spots. Like this month, it's only 17, and I'm probably only going to open it 1 or 2 more times because I think the value of what I'm giving in here is way higher than what people pay for it. But that's just.
But will you agree to keep it open for a week for people?
I'll change it to a week. Yes, I'll keep it open for a week.
Okay, great. I appreciate that. All right, David. Now to wind things up, one of the people that influenced you a lot when you got in was Joe Marfolio, and we have Joe's one of the people that's been with us for the longest, and he's really lit the way for so many different people. You a lot of the same way that you've lit the way for others. You were going through some of your notes on some of the things that you learned from Joe. Can you put the word out? Maybe you can help me introduce Joe as kind of pass the baton.
I still remember Joe, and I remember the videos and how he had these headphones on, and there was like a cat or a dog or a kid in the background or all of the above. They were awesome because they were very client consulting related. He was really good at the local listings. I don't know if all the same techniques work, but here's some of my notes. I know that there's some more videos that I haven't that aren't in here, but also he did ranking videos, and he had a lot of really good ideas on how to find clients, like how to use networking, which is probably one of the, when you're just starting out, it's one of the ways that's really available to you because you can do it right away.
Yeah, that was something that you wound up doing after that.
Yeah, a lot of my initial business came through, especially the first 3 or 4 months after NHB, came from networking. In fact, I got what you call a center of influence, a marketing agency that basically resold my SEO services. And I met her at a meetup.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of meetups where, like an SEO meetup, there's a lot of lawyers and accountants that go to meetups because they're looking to learn how to do SEO for their business. So meetups are a great place. Now, that doesn't mean you can waste your time. If it's only got like 5 people, it's probably not going to be great. But some meetups have like 50 to 100 people. You can go to those and you can find a lot of people there.
Great.
But Joe was awesome and motivating, and also just giving me more ideas on how to get out there and make money. So I'm a big fan of Joe.
Yeah, I am as well. I'm going to share my screen. If you have the time, just as we're bringing Joe on here, please take the time. Of course, you have the time. You're on this event here. Let's please take the time. Please thank David Hood for coming on, for donating his time here. I'm typing this in myself at this moment, trying to get the tag tool to work. I guess my computer's a little overwhelmed. But we have over 150 people on right now, so hopefully we can get 150 people thanking David for coming on and sharing this stuff, and really take advantage of his modules. He has both a module in your day job killer area. It's got that terrific calculator pricing tool, and he also has a reveal in the in the field reports area. And also, what was the name of that URL? Is it Operation Alpha Destruction?
It's alphadestruction.com.
Alphadestruction.com. That's open for this week. If you get in there, and if you're having to watching this more than a week later, then David, do you keep up like a notification box for when you'll reopen?
Yeah, I'll put when I close it, I put an email list that you can sign up to where I email that list every time I open it.
Okay, great. All right, and we've got thank yous pouring in. Yazid said thanks Hood into Hood. That's great. Yazid just started getting his first rankings yesterday. Gregor Ortiz is on. I see Pip Patton was at OMG Live last year. It's going to be at OMG Live this year.
I got to run. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much. God bless you, David. All right, don't end the webinar. All right, we want to thank David. That was just a wonderful reveal, and lots of thank yous are pouring in right now. Tara and so forth. Yeah, again, this is kind of culture that we have inside of here. Joe, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Mike. That was great. Man, really, that's that's why he had a whole list of stuff of what he learned from my videos. So that was inspiring for me. That was awesome.
Yeah, Joe, like I never want to signal one person out over anybody else because OMG is a city on a hill, and so it's people helping people. You've again, you've been in NHP for a while now. You're a little bit different than David. When David first joined us, this is you and your family, and when David first joined us, he was pretty green. He wasn't making money online. He was maybe breaking even, maybe even losing a bit of money. But we built OMG not just for beginners. We certainly built it for beginners, and we really wanted to shine a light and pave the way for beginners. But we also really wanted to carve out a niche where somebody who's had success and is looking to expand upon that success and looking to grow in their success, we wanted to attract a mixture of top up-and-coming beginners, but also mix that in with people that are already in their stride, already having success, but looking to rocket it to the next level. And that's the category that you were in when you came and joined us, where you were somebody who already had substantial success, quite a lot of success, primarily at that time with client consulting, but then you were looking to open yourself up and take things to the next level, and you've done that. So we're very grateful, and you've been one of the people who has embodied the pay it forward attitude inside of OMG. And of course, you heard David Hood's testimony there about how he was influenced. I remember to this day that first field report that you and I did together, and we did some role playing on client consulting, and I it was emotional for me. I think you fired me as a client or something like that.
Yeah.
I wanted to turn the tables on you. I was like, well, I want to be you now.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I really enjoyed that. That was nice.
Yeah. So let's go inside of the Project Juggernaut home so I can help folks locate this. And again, with these acceleration webinars, one of the ways I accelerate you is by now. What is this? Joe, you're all over the place, Joe. Joe Marfolio, local CPA. This is something I want to touch upon in this event as we go. Let me click it on this. So if we go into monetization area and then we go to the field training, we have had this at the top of the field training forever. Joe Marfolio, day job killer, and then we've got your new local CPA. And this is actually a testimonial from Qzx899. But this is such an awesome module from you, and this is one of the things that really helped get us rolling with this stuff. This is me and Joe, and this kind of double live video format. You can see us going back and forth. This is a must watch for everybody, even if you're only interested in affiliate marketing or selling your own products, even if you don't want to do client consulting, because at some point you're going to be interacting with other human beings. And there's other lessons in here as well. This is, one of the modules I think is just a must watch for everybody. It's so invaluable, and it'll also help you because this was, at the beginning of things, it's just priceless information. So as we get started here, I'm going to jump in on the Facebook thread here, and I want to welcome Joseph Marfolio.
Yeah, I mean, thanks, Mike. Yeah, that module, one of the things I always try to do is remove barriers for people, because I've been doing this since 2010, and a lot of things that people run into, roadblocks, I've already hit. And before I started online marketing, I had my own businesses, and I never had to sell. I either had salesmen or I hated selling. I didn't like to do any of that. So when I started offline marketing, trying to get clients, I had to sell my service, and at first it was very difficult for me. And then I came up with a way to really disarm people I'm talking to, and really make it more comfortable for me, and that's that's part of what we talk about in those videos.
Yeah, I want to kind of underscore what you're saying. You did not feel, not only did you not have skill selling, you did not feel comfortable doing it.
Oh yeah, no, I hate it. Like I would, I'd go to an event and I'd be standing there with all these people around, and I'd either head for the bathroom or hang out somewhere, and it was a very awkward situation, and a lot of times I'd leave feeling like, oh, I can't do it.
And there's something that you did in between those first events where, or first few times reaching out to people, or, whether it's a networking event or running into somebody at Starbucks, or, whatever form of reaching out to clients you were doing, maybe looking at the pay-per-click listings and reaching out to a business. You had a lot of fails before you had substantial success, but it did turn around for you. You have made as much as 6 figures in a single month in SEO sales.
Yeah, with client consulting, I did. And before I made that, I was doing it for a while, probably a good year, and I even had, I even got a client, like I got a dentist before I did that, and I kind of stopped. And what was happening is that year I was doing client consulting, I was trying to sell affiliate products, I was trying Amazon, I was buying every product I saw, and for me it was a moment where I was at a seminar, and a guy asked me, one of the guys asked me, he says, how much time do you spend on your business? I'm like, well, I spend 40 hours a week. And he said, well, how much time do you spend on things that are now making you money? And that was the only thing that had really made me money was this client. And when I thought about it, I thought, well, maybe a quarter of the time. And it was when I dedicated myself and says, okay, this is my focus. When I get online to work, I'm not looking at ClickBank, I'm not looking at Facebook, I'm concentrating on getting clients, I'm concentrating on that part of my business. And that's when it started rolling, and I started problem solving issues I had, and that's how one of the ways I grew my business was just having that concentration. I think David talks a lot about that in the law of implication too, that's in the members area. But that really helped me out a lot.
Yeah, I want to point this out. Whether you're now these are in different areas. If you're in Project J, your initial introduction from David Mills is right here in your upper right hand corner, the Project J orientation page. And folks want to know from me, what's the difference between Cotton and Joe Marfolio and David Hood and Hung Lee and Abby and Angela and Mary, the people that are having maybe even higher level success. What's the difference between them and somebody who's just kind of getting started, still having some success? I think that the more you focus and the more you listen in on what David Mills has to say, the more success you're going to have. This is your orientation area. It's really a work of art. This is a wonderful orientation area inside of Project J that David Mills created. And David is just as successful, probably more successful than me and Greg Morrison is. He probably has more money than we do. I don't know if he makes more money than we do, but he probably has more money than we do. And very, very, very successful, very compassionate, very caring. And there's this video. I say this should be your touchstone. I say that this orientation area should be your touchstone. And it should be something that you go through at least once or twice, probably twice at least, your first week inside of OMG. And for the first couple months, you should definitely carefully go through it at least once a week. And that's really somebody who says that they don't have time to do that. To me, that's like somebody who's trying to chop down a tree with a dull axe, and they're like, oh, I'm too busy to sharpen my axe. Now, if you're in Project X, this kind of orientation is going to be more, I believe it's more like right down the middle of your page, and it's called the steps to getting started. And it would be down below your latest news feed. And if you haven't looked at that in a while, please go back through it. If you're in Project X and you haven't been through those steps to getting started, you may say, well, hey, I've already gotten started. But again, we want to not just accelerate, but one of the best ways to accelerate is to reorient ourselves. In car racing, we take a pit stop. That like Formula One and so forth. They take a pit stop and they rebalance the tires and they make sure that everything is working. They gas up and they take care of that. So make sure to take pit stops with your orientation page and of course with your law of implication training. That's just so critical. David Mills is the one who envisioned OMG. He is the architect of OMG. He makes all of the final decisions when it comes to OMG. Greg Morrison and I like to let people know that OMG is a benevolent dictatorship where David is the dictator, and really ultimately what David says we do, and then people just have incredible success. Now, Joe, let me ask you this. You talked a little bit about your first 60 days before you joined OMG. Can you talk about, because I want to help somebody who's already gotten their start. Maybe they're already an ace, or maybe there's somebody who joined us with OMG and now they're kind of, in a sense, I'm asking them to take a pit stop and think about, their next 60 days. What were the things that you did when you joined? What were your first 60 days inside of OMG like? As you prepare to really take your business to the next level, because now you really are doing those things. Now you are doing multiple streams of income. You've made substantial income from affiliate marketing. You made substantial income from your own products, and you've taken your client consulting to the next level. So what are those first 60 days? What did you learn and do, and what shaped your experience inside of OMG?
I mean, like for me, I had my clients when I joined, and I wanted to get more in affiliate marketing, but also my SEO was okay, but I wanted to take that to the next level, because if you've been doing this long enough, you know that there's updates constantly, right? So you always got to keep ahead of it. And I was part of a few groups that I was able to do that, and then they started to meander out, and I was left in a space where, if another update came, I don't think I'd be able to hold my rankings. And when I started with you guys, I came in through an ebook or something you guys were selling on the side, and I really liked Greg's over-the-shoulder videos. And out of all the programs I've been in, I've never seen someone do it as descriptive as he did. So the first thing I did was watch some of the over-shoulder videos, and it helped me restructure the way I was doing SEO for my clients' sites, and that gave me a boost in confidence. It helped me to help my clients, and then once I had that area in check, because when I did start planning out what I was doing, I focused solely on getting clients. Now, when that system was done, I had my clients, I had my outsourcers, I had money coming in. I wanted to jump over to the affiliate side, where I can have money coming in without having to deal with clients at all. And so then that's when I started to get more into the conversion. There was a lot of information you did on converting and then affiliates, and then on launch jacking, and through some of your connections, there was the Venus Factor came out, which is now I think the #2 or #1 in ClickBank. Well, before they launched it, you had all the information on it, so I was able to actually get ahead of that. And through watching some of the SEO and Greg's videos, I was able to build a site, some videos, and that launch jack made me thousands of dollars. So I guess for me, which was nice about OMG, was I was able to keep ahead of the different updates and trends that were coming out.
There was a lot of information about your first 60 days there. That was something like you really built up a lot of confidence, and it really also changed the way that you're doing your client consulting now, because as we look at this, and I got to let everybody know, this is so exciting. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag a little bit here. We've got something that's coming. It's not here now, but we've got something coming, and I really want you to keep your eyes peeled for this. As we look towards 2015, you're not going to have to wait till 2015, but as we move towards 2015, we have David Mills is like the director of OMG. Like James Cameron is like the number one money getting director of all time when it comes, well, it depends on whether you look at inflation or not. I guess, or maybe George Lucas or somebody like that, or whoever directed Gone with the Wind. But anyways, David's a director, and we have coming out, and this is all new, and you'll find out more about this as time comes. It is what a lot of people have been hoping, even fantasizing about, money getting fantasizing, that is. We call it the director's cut of Project J. And I want you to kind of put that on your mind, maybe even write down director's cut. And Joe is one of, yep.
I'm back.
Okay,
I'm back. I lost you for a while.
Oh, no problem. I was just talking. Well, I was just saying that we have something, and Joe, don't let the cat out of the bag on this. This is, I know it's a little bit of a tease, but it's good for people to know. I'm not doing this to tease. It's just that we're not releasing all the information on this. That we have something coming out, and it involves Joe. It also involves a couple of other people. If you've been following OMG, it's probably the people that you're hoping that it is. I'm not going to say more than that. But it's David Mills calls it the director's cut of Project J, and Joe's involved with it, and it is going to be a very, very, very exciting time as we close the doors on 2014 and move into 2015. So put that in the back of your mind, director's cut. Maybe write that down on a piece of paper or mention on the OMG Facebook wall. Something that I really want you to look forward to, but. Right now, while you're waiting, so much great stuff with Joe. By the way, we also have a launch tracking area. If you want to know about launch tracking, I want to orient you to some things here. It's why it's really cool that we're here with Joe. If I go back to your main Project J members area, it's very similar to your Project X area. If you have Project X and Project J are the same thing. It's just that Project X was the previous edition, and Project J is what we have going forward. So deciding on your game plan right here, this has to do with turning visitors into money. And Joe, one of the things that you did was you changed things over. You really made a big changeover in your business where you weren't as reliant on a traditional client relationship, where you started doing almost a affiliate local hybrid. That's what this Joe Marfolio local CPA is about. And it's funny, I was talking to Carrie Duke the other day, and Carrie's a real up-and-coming OMG. He's somebody who's we've got a reveal with him inside of your monetization lesson page that was really inspired by Joe's local CPA and also by stuff here with Alex. But what this is you're ranking for local keywords, and you're putting CPA offers up. And what that means is that there are companies out there that they provide affiliate opportunities where if you will generate leads for them, phone numbers and addresses or whatever it is that they're looking for, email addresses, if you'll generate those leads for them, they will pay you. It's called cost per action, but basically paying you per lead. And that's part of what your experience getting involved with affiliate marketing, because you wanted a little bit more of an automated income. That's what's allowed you actually to move to Costa Rica and work from there for over a year.
Yeah, exactly. Like I haven't had to go out to get clients in a long time, but that CPA, like everything I do, is centered around making stuff as simple as possible, building a system that I can duplicate and scale. And lead gen is great. Again, I don't like sales, so I try to make the sales as easy as possible. So in here I talk about different CPA offers where for local stuff like windows or plumbers or lawyers, and they pay you per lead. Now the per lead isn't as high as if you got a client. Say maybe you had a plumbing lead and they're paying you $25. Well, what you could do is if you're just getting started, you put that CPA offer or the phone number on your site, and now you're immediately getting paid. Okay, so even while you're ranking, you're getting paid. You don't got to worry about getting a client. And then you record the phone calls, and once you get a number of phone calls, say 8 or 10 calls, then you can take those recordings and you can go out and use them to get a real client and probably get $50, $70 for that lead. So it's a way that you could, one, automate it, and then two, you can go ahead and you can get higher price by getting pay-per-call customers. Now these customers are your clients, but they're very low maintenance. For example, there's one site I have, I think it's averaging, we're selling leads, it's averaging about $3,500 a month. Now, if I would have tried to get a client for that niche in that city, the max I probably would have got is $2,000 a month for a client to pay me that. And that client, it would come with, I'd have to do their social media. Every time the rankings dropped or whatever, I'd have to deal with them. I'd do reports, all this stuff. Whereas now, with this lead gen, I sell the guy leads. He pays me when he gets leads. He loves it. I love it because I don't have to interact with him. And,
and I want to point out, it's funny because what got you here, there's nothing wrong with doing client consulting. There's a lot of money in it. You see, like right now, Cotton Grammar, like last month made 150 grand doing it. So you can definitely do it. But there's such different ways of scaling it up. Cotton's done it by getting bigger and bigger clients and going to more national clients and so forth. What Joe's doing is Joe's scaling through more automation, and he takes you inside of that in this module. It's really, really, really cool how he's doing this stuff. And I want to point out something else that Joe has going on. And what we're doing here is we've talked about Joe's first 60 days and the things they were doing. Now we're kind of on this today, and also where Joe is taking things, where he's expanding to. This was more of a distinction from David's module. I want to kind of point this out here. If we go back to the monetization page, again, Joe's got a reveal in this field training area. Also, he mentioned launch jacking, which is yet another way to have success. And we have a launch jacking calendar inside of OMG that Joe actually provides for you. It's right here, that your launch jacking calendar. Very, very valuable stuff there.
And the other thing I want to mention too, Mike, is there's so many different ways, right, to make money with this. And Cottony makes a good amount of money with clients. And I don't want to sound like, don't get clients. I think clients are the fastest way to make money. And some people, they want to have they want to do that. They want to deal with clients. They want to, and that's fine, and it works great for them. It's just, this is where it works good for me in my situation.
I want to do something. I want to see if I can bring Kerry Duke live. I just saw Kerry post, and I noticed that he's in the members area, because Kerry did a reveal inside of OMG. He's also up to something else. I won't get into that today. But Kerry did a reveal, and he was really inspired by your CPA module. It really made things, really made an aha moment come on for him. So I'm going to try to make Kerry an organizer and see if I can bring him live on this event. I've been wanting to introduce the two of you guys anyways. Let me see if I can get Kerry. And I'm a little bit putting Kerry on the spot, so hopefully this is okay with him. Kerry, are you there?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Kerry,
Awesome.
I'm so excited that I just noticed on Facebook, you just blipped up, and I saw, and then I checked to see if you were actually on the webinar, and you are. And I want to go here. We actually introduced something with you. We call it a reveal, and it was really nifty. It's a little bit of a cross between what we are teaching, what Joe's teaching with the local CPA module. It also borrows a little bit, has the same kind of ideas as what Alex Gould is doing here, and some of the same ideas that David Hood was talking about with all the keywords that are out there. You were really inspired by Joe's module, and we wound up in Sunday Funday, which is a text-based rapid-fire question and answer that goes on inside of the OMG Beginners Acceleration and Support Group. If you're not a member of that, you can add me at omgmachines.com/Icarus, by the way. Add me on Facebook at omgmachines.com/Icarus. It's the name of my Dungeons and Dragons character. He's very good. But anyways, if you want to be added to that beginners group, and also to the Amazon group, and we also have a list building group, then you go to omgmachines.com/Icarus and add me as a friend. Now, Carrie, as I click in on this field training right here, then we've got a new reveal from you. It's right here. Joe just mentioned he's got a lead gen site that's making, you know, 2-3 grand a month. You actually revealed to me a lead gen site that's also doing extremely well. You know, a 4-figure per month website, and it's also doing this kind of either semi-automated or full, you know, nearly automated lead gen. But you really got a lot, and it sparked things for you when you watched that that CPA module with Joe, and you jumped in on Sunday Funday, and you and I wound up talking, and we wound up making this reveal. Can you let people know, because you know you're somebody who's got boots on the ground, right? Like you're in the trenches. You know, what are the conditions on the ground that make it so this local CPA model, this kind of hybrid between it's kind of like a part local because you're taking advantage of all these local keywords out there. David Hood says that he thinks that 80% of the traffic out there is on keywords that nobody's fighting for. You like to think of yourself as kind of like the king of the long tail, and I agree. You're doing tremendous stuff with long tail with these little keywords that add up to a lot of traffic. Can you let people know what's going on? You know, what are the facts on the ground that make it possible to take advantage of fusing all these local keywords that are out there with almost like an affiliate model where you're getting paid per action without really having to interact with clients that much, or even in some cases at all?
Well, if I understand your question, what makes it work is the fact that you're providing the single thing that all companies want above all else, and that is they want the phone to ring. And if you're able to give them that ringing phone, they're willing to pay you for that. And you don't have to have any other interaction with them. My clients, I'm typically talking to them once a month. Here's your invoice. Here's, you know, pay me within 48 hours.
Right. So at the end of the day, what happened? Like you had kind of an aha moment when you were watching Joe's video, and this is one of the neat things because you're already making great money. You're a lot like Joe, where when you came in, you were already having success, and now you're expanding upon that. And it's one of the things you talked about in your reveal. But even though you're already having success, and even though you learned some things in the traditional area, added private blog networks to what you're doing, and so forth, you even got even more inspired and more fired up, and now you're paying it forward and helping other people. Now you're inspiring other people. What are some of the things that you got from being involved with, like going through Joe's new CPA module? Why did that spark things for you?
Okay. I will tell you why. Because when you build out a great big lead gen site, let's say you want to cover the entire Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and there's 40 or 50 cities that you want to cover, and you think, well, I need a website for each of these cities. I need at least 30, 40, 50, and I've been doing somewhere between 500 and 1,000 pages per city, and then you want to do videos for all those things, and one of the things I like to incorporate is classified ads for a lot of different reasons. But when you start looking at a project like that, you say, holy crap, I'm going to spend the next 2 weeks building this out, and I don't know if it'll work. I don't know if I'll be able to monetize this. And the biggest aha moment I got from Joe, which I love hearing him talk, is the fact that you can monetize it with affiliate offers until you get that buildup of steam that you need to be able to go to a client and say, hey, I want 30, 40, 50, $100 per call on this. Are you in?
Yeah, that's a great way.
And when you can monetize it with that CPA offer, you have the proof that this is actually producing income, and it becomes a no-brainer for that client to be able to say, yeah, I want that.
That's terrific. And this is
And
something
it's that combination that was missing for me. It's like, well, building these things out takes some time. No matter how much automation you use, it takes some time. And when you can be guaranteed that you're going to be able to monetize it, it makes it a lot easier as opposed to sitting there wondering if you're going to be able to monetize it.
One of the things I love about this is, again, this just goes to show how this pay it forward attitude really, a rising tide really floats all boats, because Joe put this module out there, and I want to put the word out. Fletch, we're really going to be piling on this local CPA and this local lead gen because it's a huge untapped gold mine because there's so many keywords out there that nobody's competing over. And it's so easy, even with very little SEO, with very little link getting in a lot of cases, you can start getting just lots and lots of rankings. You can start making that phone ring and be benefiting from it. And you're benefiting, searchers are searching for something, you're helping them find it. You're benefiting businesses, and you're getting your cut. You're making the pie bigger, and then cutting out your slice of things. And this is such a big up and coming offer, or it's such a big up and coming thing. But Joe, it's really cool, I'm sure, for you to watch this, because here you are having success with this. You reveal this, and it sparks an aha moment for Kerry, which not only benefits his business, but then Kerry goes and he pays it forward, and he shares his reveal and gets into a lot of the innovations that he's doing, and things just really snowball.
Yeah, no, it's great, and I appreciate all the kind words, Kerry. That I'm glad it helped you out. And I think what I like so much about this group is you always have to, with SEO, with marketing, it's all about thinking outside the box, and there's 100 ways to do the same thing. And when people contribute what they do, it just helps the group as a whole. And the reason why I did this module is one thing that Kerry said is, and I know when I started, it's like you do all this work and the payoff is there, but sometimes you get discouraged because you're not getting paid right away. And I remember the first time I made $60 online. I was like, holy crap, I just made $60. And it like clicks that when you make that first $60, it won't take much more to duplicate that and make 600 or 6,000. But you got to make the first little bit of money, and then that gives you the incentive to keep on going. And I mean, I do this. I comment. I probably should comment more in the Facebook group, or I'll make videos like this. And because it helps people, and because people take action, it inspires me to do it. And just like you said, pay it back.
Yeah, pay it forward. It's one of the things that Cotton really likes to talk about, and it's just, again, it's just so powerful for all of us. I mean, we wind up in this situation where really, again, like a rising tide, like really floats all boats, and it's just something that I really particularly appreciate. So I'd love to. I'm going to jump in here, and I want to thank. I want to thank Joe because I just think that this has just been tremendous with what Joe's seeing, and there's even more to come. I also want to thank Kerry for his reveal, which is so awesome, and it just all this again. I'm not really trying to get folks to repeat the training that's already in there for you. There's no point in that. What I am trying to do is help you see where the money's being made right now, help better orient you to your members area, help accelerate you. That's what these events are about. At this point, dang, I mean, Joe's making so much money that he, if he accelerates himself by a week, it's a lot of money. If Kerry accelerates himself by a week, I mean, buys a lot of hamburgers. And, same with David Hood, same with me. We want to get you to that point wherever you're jumping off, that we, either accelerate you towards, getting that initial taste of success, or if you already are making some money, we want to accelerate you to where you're making more and more and more and more. This is a big deal to us. We really take this very, very seriously. Now, Kerry, you were one of the things that sparked things for you was we were doing that Sunday Fun Day, and I think that Joe, I think you were actually posting that day in Sunday Fun Day. And what Sunday Fun Day is, it works a lot like this thread that's going on right here. Now, this thread is more about interaction with this webinar. But what Sunday Fun Day is, it is a text-based. It's all text. It's in your beginners group, in your OMG Beginners Acceleration and Support group. And if you're not already a member of that, the thing to do is to go to omgmachines. I put omgmachines.com/iCar. It's absolutely incorrect. Go to Facebook. I made this mistake so many times. I should go and make actual redirect from omgmachines.com. to facebook.com/iCarus. I'll probably do that after this webinar. Hopefully I'll remember. Go to facebook.com/iCarus and add me as a friend, and then you can ask me to put you in the OMG Beginners Acceleration Support Group. That's where Sunday Fun Day goes on. And we also have the wonderful Amazon Plus group. We'll be talking about that in just a couple minutes. And we also have the list building group. Also, we're going to be kicking something off that I call, it'll be like the OMG International group. Of course, we have wonderful success going on for Americans. And of course, we have wonderful success going on all around the world. But sometimes there can be a little bit of differences here and there going on. It can be a little bit nice to be able to network with somebody in your region, or SEO can be slightly different one place to another. So one of the things that we're going to do is start an international group, and that's going to be starting just really in the next few days for our guys and gals out in the UK and for people all over the place. So that's going to be something to really look forward to. And one of the things I want to do here is let's see what this is. Oh, okay. Yeah, Gregory Ortiz just gave me the. I can show you what Sunday Funny looks like. It's a text-based rapid-fire Q&A, and Gregory is kind of our ringleader for it. He's, we usually get at least a couple of other top guns to jump in on it. Yeah, my hyperlinking is a little bit slow on this computer. I think that it's God's way of telling me to go and buy a Mac Pro, so we get a little bit faster processing going on here. Yeah, it's supposed to be omgmachines.com/iCarus. But anyways, this is, my computer's kind of gumming up here, and I'm getting blasted. For what it's worth, during this event, it's probably overall better not to message me on Facebook because it'll make my thing bonk. But at the same time, I want to have Facebook open so I can show the threads and so forth. It's a little bit of a tightrope. But anyways, we've got that beginners group. I'm going to try to pull it up. I don't know that I will be able to pull it up or not. Oh, here it is, right over here. This was the Sunday Fun Day thread from last week, and sometimes there's 100 posts in it. Sometimes there's over 200 posts in it. We've had as much as, gosh, I think one time there was close to 500 posts in it. My computer's pretty well on lockdown right now. I think that it is officially overwhelmed. Definitely need to go and buy that new. Cotton's been trying to talk me into buying the new turbocharged Super Mac Pro, and I think that this is God's way of saying that Cotton is right. But anyways, we'll be looking into that more as time goes on. But that Sunday Funday thread is really, really cool, and it's a text-based Q&A. Yeah, here you go. This is the one from last week. And one of the things that we've been doing recently is talking a lot about your city guide sites. And your city guide sites, this is Greg's all-new over-the-shoulder series that's in your members area. You really want to pay attention to this. This is such a great way to kick off, to do client consulting, also to do affiliate marketing, CPA like we're talking about, lead gen sites. And you can even read over these past threads, these past Sunday Fun Day threads. I'm actually going to bump this one. I'll just scroll down and type bump. Oh, wow. Actually, it's going to make me scroll through all of them. But yeah, basically what happens is people come in and they type in their questions, and Gregory generally tries to make sure that that the questions get answered. Dave Keys jumps in there quite frequently. I've seen Fletch in there. I've seen Scott Schaff in there. Mary Semmers in there. I just saw her in there. So lots and lots of great mix of beginners and people who are having a little bit more success. That I believe that's going to be at 4 p.m. Eastern time, Sunday Fun Day. And actually, I think I saw Chris Crowley on, and Chris just got the first. Yeah, Chris was on. Actually, I don't see Chris anymore. Oh no, Chris is on. Christina, let me know if you have a microphone because Christina just turned in her first earnings report, and she actually mentioned Sunday Fun Day as being a part of that. And I'm just curious how her first client getting experience went. And she thinks so. All right, let's try to bring her live. Let's see what happens. Always like to roll the dice here, see what happens. Christina, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. So you
Great.
you just posted yesterday. I saw you posted in the beginners group, and can you tell people what's going on?
Yeah, I was on Sunday Funday last Sunday, and Gregory at the end of it said, "So who's gotten a client lately?" And I hadn't got a client, and I thought I wasn't far enough to get one. So he kind of said, by next week, go out of yourself and try to get one. And so I thought about it, and so I was going to meet with my hairstylist on Tuesday, and I thought, what a great time to maybe get a client because she always needs more clients. And I looked and she doesn't have much of a web presence, so I thought that would be the best person to get started on, and talked with her about it a little bit. And so we're going to do a bit of a barter. And so she's my first client, and I'm really excited.
That's really wonderful, and this can really turn into quite a big deal. This is an example that I've shown before, but I'll show it again because it bears repeating. Yeah, Nashville eyelash extensions. This is a client that we have for Nashville SEO, and just by ranking for Nashville eyelash extensions and eyelash extensions Nashville, this is Ashley. She's taken her business from the beginning of the year. Before she was working with us, she was working like a dog on Facebook and on Instagram to try to get clients. Oops, getting a little bit of feedback there. Just this here. And at the time, she was working like a dog to generate new leads. And the last 3 months, she's made over $7,000 per month, and she's just working from home and only working when her son Tal is resting. And so it can make a huge difference in their business. So I'd love to thank Christina for getting out of her comfort zone and jumping in there and getting her first client. I want to congratulate Christina. I actually had to mute her just because we were getting a little bit of Chris Crowley, and she not only got a nice haircut, but got a client out of it as well. So I want to, yeah, Joe.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, exactly what she did is she took action, and it's almost like the butterfly effect, or you don't know what action that you take is going to affect the next action. And by simply doing a barter, maybe she's not getting $1,000 a month or whatever, but now she has a client, she starts interacting with a client, she starts ranking the client's website. Once she has proof for other people what she does, and it gives her the experience she needs to go get other people.
And referrals, Joe.
Referrals, I mean referrals, yeah.
Yeah.
And like one of the big things that I talk in my module, it's paying forward, but it's doing it even for other people. Where I've gone to events and I had like a video guy, and I talked to him about how he can help promote his customers on YouTube. And I didn't say, hey, I'm not going to tell this guy this because I don't want him taking the business from me. I'm not going to get his clients. But in helping him and giving him advice, he referred other clients to me. And it's like sometimes when people hold on to what they know, and they're like, I need this much to, and sometimes when you give or you just take that action, it starts snowballing, and you never know what you're gonna get out of it.
Yeah, and by the way, with bartering, I mean, really, usually if we're bartering, we're doing it for something that we really want in the first place. A product or service or something that we just flat out want in the first place. And so it really is just equal cash. I mean, it's pretty nice. I've done that for there was a restaurant that when I was first getting started with client consulting myself, there was a restaurant that I would just go to every day, literally every day. And I just ate for free for for a year. And it was pretty, like, when you really added it up, it was, like, it wasn't that much work. and it was thousands of dollars worth of food that I went through. And I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of a side thing. And I'm not saying like this is all about like getting free food or free haircuts or free gym memberships or whatever. I mean, that can be a part of it. But there's so many different ways to skin a cat with this stuff. So many different ways. And so if you just get started, and that's great. And it's this also demonstrates how many different angles that we have in OMG on support and on bolstering you, because we have the secret Facebook groups. We have Sunday Funday inside of the Facebook groups. We have the coaching office hours with Greg and Fletch. We have the acceleration webinars with me. Of course, relationships form. There's just, Fletch answers emails. There's so many different angles on this, so many different ways that we do things that we really try to have you be kind of like Neo in the Matrix, where you're jacking in and taking advantage from so many different directions. Now, one of the things I want to do right here as we transition, and again, I really want to thank Joe and Carrie and Joe. I'm glad I finally got the opportunity to introduce you to Carrie, because I've been wanting for you guys to meet each other, because you guys have a lot in common, a lot of good things. But before as I transition here, I wanted to see if I can bring Jim Utzen here live, and we've got also, we're going to be joined by somebody else here in a second. But let me see if I can bring Jim live. Jim's got such great perspective. What we had right here, David Hood, when he started with us, he was a total rookie to this money getting thing, and he was really just getting his start. And then you met a couple of people who were already having success when they joined OMG. That both Joe and Carrie already had success when they joined OMG, and there's a great mixture. Jim, are you there?
Mr. Long, how are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Now, Jim, once again, is in that category where he's somebody who he's a bit of a gray beard when it comes to this online money getting thing. He's been having success for a long time. He first joined us for OMG Live Nashville last year, and ever since then, he's just been a wonderful member. He jumped in on Project X, and he's just been a wonderful, wonderful member of our community. I mentioned emailing me at omg@omgmachines.com to make sure you get that blueprint. Jim actually has a lot that he's contributed to OMG, both as a member and helping people and pointing them in the right directions and so forth. But also, he's got a module on creating and ranking Kindle ebooks in the Amazon marketplace. So creating them, getting them ranked on the real Google search engines, something that he's done quite a bit of. And this is both in your members area, in the Amazon. There's a whole Amazon area right here. There's the Kindle ebook best practices and Amazon training. We'll get to this later on. And there's also a Kindle ebook best practices module inside of your blueprint that's just so incredibly valuable. And now, Jim, by the way, I was able to ask David Hood earlier when he jumped in. You've been around the block. David was more of a beginner when he joined us, and still just getting a start when he went to OMG Live Nashville. You were at OMG Live Nashville last year, and as somebody who's been around the block, what was your experience with OMG Live Nashville?
It was just an incredible opportunity. What's great about the OMG Live situation is not only you're going to learn really kind of the insider secrets to the SEO, but I think the biggest advantage is to meet like-minded individuals who are doing the same thing that you're going to do. And if you're going to go to the event this year, first thing you need to do is walk up to Mike and say, these are the areas that I'm interested in, and I want to meet the people. Who here should I talk to? And just go up and start meeting people and say, hi, I do this, this, and this. What do you do? Great. Do you know of anybody else here that I can talk to that I can speak to that I have some questions about? Because once you start to do that, you're going to meet people that you never knew existed, and they're going to start to tell you things you never knew about. And what's going to happen is the conversation is going to get together. You're going to have this synergy of ideas, and everything's going to really gel for you because you're meeting people who are in the trenches. They're underground marketers. They do this day in, day out, and you're going to be just blown away on the people that you're going to meet. It's just a phenomenal group, and the weekend is just tremendous.
Yeah, I really so strongly agree with that, and it's a little bit it's a little bit of a puzzle because, like I said, me and David Mills and Greg Morrison, we're not really the primary presenters. Our stuff is in Project Juggernaut and Project X, but we're there at the event, and something that's so unique, and of course there's wonderful content. It just wouldn't happen otherwise with Jimmy Kelly, with Russell, with Sue, Cotton Grammar, with Hung Lee is going to be there. I mean, it's unbelievable the lineup that we have and the secrets that you'll be getting, and you wouldn't get it any other way. It's not like, because it's non-recorded and non-disclosure, you're getting secrets that we wouldn't be sharing. So that component is there. The learning component when you're in your seat is there. But what Jim's talking about, even calling it networking almost, because it's not just networking. I mean, it's really joining forces. OMG is a city on a hill. It's a place where friends come together in Providence. And me and David and Greg, we have our boots on the ground at OMG. You might be able to pull Greg over and have him look at your website and say, hey, what am I doing with this? And he'll be there. We're going to be at all the meals. There's 10 meals, for the whole event. And we're actually, me and David are planning on having some good availability even on the Thursday and the Friday beforehand. And David will be talking about law of implication, and I'll be talking about whatever the heck it is that I do. We'll be there, but you're also just surrounded by people who are either like-minded, up-and-coming, people getting started, or aces that are having real success already, and that can help point you on and help move you off in the right direction. So now, one of the things I want to do here, we're going to be joined, I'm quite sure, pretty soon by Brad Mabry. Jim, you've been working with Brad, and this Amazon stuff is gotten to be very exciting for people, but a lot of people don't realize that the biggest opportunity on Amazon, the biggest opportunity and the easiest to take advantage of opportunity in Amazon is not on Amazon, Jim. It's in the real Google search engines. Why is that?
Well, you have two distinct advantages. Amazon is a trusted source. And if you were to go to any type of search engine search and you see a particular product and it happens to has an Amazon listing and you go to that link and you go into Amazon, you're immediately allowing Amazon to provide you with a trust value as a kind of a perceived, implied situation. And it's a great e-commerce situation. They've understood the funnel process. They make it easy with the one-click buying opportunities. So Amazon has really created what I think is going to be an interesting situation, particularly over the next 2, 3, 4 years, is as they really penetrate not only the consumer marketplace of buying physical products, but also in the digital areas, from consumables, from the Kindle products to ebooks to online video capabilities and things like that. So what I was able to do is put together creating the Kindle marketplace, because the Kindle device is not only you're selling a book, but you can also use it as a sales letter. For example, David Swanson used his book as a giant
Mike Swanson
sales letter for his stock product. So the skies are really the limit. From kids' books to technical books to how-to books. I mean, the sky's the limits of being able to do it. So by having Amazon as the foundation to present your product, you then can leverage Google, because you can have Google's listings, Amazon listings in Google. So when you're going to do backlinking to your Amazon product, because it has such a high domain authority already, you can bring in quality links to that site, and you can compete fairly rapidly in the keyword areas. And some of the strategies we've talked about is how to write your correct titles and things like that, so that you're going to be able to show up in Google search engines. But you can really take advantage and doing it correctly, and there's a number of people that are providing quality information on how to create backlinking to these high domain authority properties. That, I mean, the sky's the limit. And as the search engine changes and more people find that SEO is tougher, OMG has an advantage because we're boots on the ground. We're in a day out, and we're sharing what's happening, and to be able to make the small adjustments over time is just phenomenal. And I want to welcome everybody who's a beginner here. Just get down, get to the basics, go through the information, and ask the questions, because we're all here to help. And Mike, if you looked at over the last year of all of the stable of OMG instructors that have been able to come here and share and pay it forward and provide their wealth of knowledge, I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, you couldn't go to a university and get what you have now. So it's there. Take advantage of it. And the Amazon Google environment is one way that you can really get involved in a product and SEO fairly rapidly.
You know, Jim, I really appreciate you saying that, and I want to thank you again, because everyone who you've met today is donating their time. They're not being paid to be here. Jim is here donating his time. Joe is here donating his time. Kerry donated his time. David Hood donated his time. Chris Crowley, who jumped in just a second ago, was donating her time. And so I find that very, very, very valuable. And, you know, I got, you know, there are products out there that focus on just Amazon. And Jim, I got a letter from an OMGer that was so heartbreaking to me. And it was a woman. I'm not going to say her name because it might be embarrassing. It's a sensitive thing. Jim, she told me that she was making $25,000 a month in sales on Amazon. I was really excited for her. But she was actually extremely upset. And I said, well, what's wrong? And I thought maybe she's competitive and she wants to do more. But Jim, the reality was that she's not making any profit whatsoever. Not one red cent of profit. In fact, oftentimes she's scraping just to break even. Sometimes she doesn't break even. And what people don't realize is no matter what the guru guys tell you, and they will mislead you, it's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. It does make me angry, actually. No matter what the guru guys tell you, and there are some people that are making some profit on Amazon, but even the gurus that are selling these Amazon products, most of them are not making a red cent online with Amazon. They're making money as gurus, okay? And the reason why is if you're trying to compete in this, and this is something that I want to bring back to the idea of the power of the real Google search engines, is that you know, the Amazon marketplace is a purely international, global marketplace. It's purely on a national and international level. And one of the things is that there's so many costs when you begin in the national environment or international environment online. Yeah, you can reach people, but you can also be competed with by a lot of other people. And so you're going in and you're buying products. A lot of times these products are a shot in the dark, and you have to wait for the products to get delivered to you, and you're a rookie with ordering stuff, and you don't know. You can get burned. Alibaba is a big marketplace, and maybe you get through that. Maybe you bought a seasonal product. Maybe it's in and out. And then the other thing is getting ranked in the Amazon search engines. It is not a merit-based search engine like Google is. It is a review-based search engine. And so what people are doing is they are buying reviews for themselves, and they are buying negative reviews for their competition. You get up to number one, and suddenly you get 3 negative reviews out of nowhere from people who are not really even buyers for your product. And you know, and then people are paying for paid advertising. They're paying on Facebook for advertising, and they're paying on Amazon for advertising, and they're having to manage all these advertising campaigns. And in the meantime, Google is this wide open marketplace, not just, I want to point this out, not just nationally, but also on the local level, because people looking for a local solution for various products and services can still buy Amazon products. You know, so those local keywords are also open in many, many cases for Amazon products. If somebody's looking for a television set locally, or if they're looking for you know, a bicycle locally or something like that, you can sell them your Amazon products. You can do it on the local level in your community. And one of the things that, you know, Jim, if all politics, let's say in America, was national, if there was no local level of politics, then it would be a literal bloodbath. You know,
very difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, if people had to go, if in order to come up in the ranks as a chess player, you had to immediately compete on the international level against grandmasters, you would never go anywhere. One of the great things about Google is there's so many either like local opportunities where there's plenty of traffic, as we've talked about, or long tail options for national stuff, like smaller keywords and so forth that have plenty of traffic once you bring them all together, and where you don't have to deal with reviews. You don't have to deal with negative competition coming in and wiping you out with reviews. And it's not that you can't make money on Amazon and the Amazon search engines. You can, but the reality is there's 5 to 10 times as much traffic in the real Google search engines. And so I'm passionate about this. It's not that I want to keep people off of Amazon. It's just that it's just so crazy to go after it without the power of the real Google search engines.
Well, I think one of the factors right now, Mike, is there's a platform that is universally accepted, and that's WordPress. There's over 70 to 80 million installs of WordPress, or 70 to 80 million people using WordPress. It's become the de facto tool for SEO capabilities, and what's so nice about it is it's open source. You can do all sorts of themes. You can do the vSilos on it. And it just creates a tremendous opportunity to stake your flag in the real estate on the internet and create content that can then use CPA offers. You can put your Amazon product information, you can do your Amazon review product information, and what happens is when you start to deal in these long tail searches or localized searches, you can really start to capture markets and build one site onto the next and to the next and the next. And when you go through and deal with the foundations and the basics, if you understand WordPress basics and get that down, and that builds the basis for all of your SEO capabilities in your client consulting, you get to those basics, you do the foundation, you can be successful.
Yeah. Because one of the things that you can do, in addition to ranking your Amazon pages, is you can rank your WordPress pages, and you can stick your Amazon listings on there. You can rank a Weebly page and stick your Amazon listing on there for local and for long tail keywords, and ultimately for big competition keywords as well. Give me the number one in your question box if what I'm saying makes some sense. Give me the number one, and I'll tell you, when I got that letter in from that woman, I shared it with some OMGers, and I had dozens of people write in who are a part of this program. I'm not going to say what the program is because I don't want to humiliate the owners of it. Maybe they should be humiliated, but I don't want to humiliate the owners of it. But what I do want to do is say that sadly, I had a lot of people come to me and say, hey, Mike, I didn't want to come out in public, but I'm having the same experience. Because the reality is, when you're just going for Amazon alone, okay, then there's several things. One is that you're going anywhere between a negative 5%. I'd estimate that this is about what most people are dealing with, a negative 5% profit share, all the way up to maybe as much as 15% profit, okay? Which is not high profit if you're just on Amazon. Now, if you branch out to Google, this can be much higher, all right? So somewhere between negative 5% and 15%, which is not a huge profit margin. But the other thing is that when you do it our way, you don't have to pay for products necessarily when you're getting started. Jim, you show people how to make your own product with no cost whatsoever with the Kindle stuff. And Brad Mabry, are you there?
Yeah, Mike, what's up?
Well, I'm so glad that you came on to join us. This is, again, Brad's another person donating his time to be here. This is Brad Mabry, and anybody who's been in our Amazon Plus mastermind on the Facebook groups knows Brad well, because he's answered hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of questions there. Jeff, I just did actually invite you to the groups. So here, and so this is Brad. And Brad, can you comment on some of the things that we're talking on here? Well, why is it that people, Amazon can be great, can really be great, and we actually have an example here in a second. And I want to talk about Brad with Brad's first 60 days and where he is today and going forward in the future. But since we're on this topic, and I know you've worked with Jim and so forth, why should people, in your own words, why should they not just do Amazon, but really insist upon Amazon plus Google, and not just Amazon plus Google any old way, but Amazon plus Google the OMG way?
Well, first of all, you're losing out on how much traffic. If you're not ranking within Google, you're just getting the Amazon traffic, where of course if you rank it in Google, then that's just shoving that many more people onto your listing. It's like anything else. When you get it ranked in Google, things will happen, you know. As far as the OMG way, what we've kind of brought into it is we don't really do I don't do a lot of you know, the drop shipping from Amazon, the FBA type stuff. And the main reason for that is you don't have to buy a bunch of stuff ahead of time. Now, what I do is in the module I show you how to go out and find suppliers that you can order it one at a time. You don't stock anything, and they just ship it directly from their warehouse or wherever they are, and you don't actually pay for it until you get paid for it. So that really saves a lot of money up front. So it takes the upfront cost down to virtually zero. Of course, you're going to have some money ranking it, but not much, especially if you go the Fiverr route. If you're targeting easier to mid-level type terms, you really, you know, you could get it ranking with you know, $5 to maybe $20.
All right, great. That's yeah. I really want people to know that when you do Amazon plus Google the OMG way, not just any old Google method, you're really giving yourself such an advantage. And at that point, I really think that getting involved with this, and you know what, Brad, there's another reason why. And we just got an earnings report in over this last weekend from Connie, and Connie's somebody who's been real active inside of the Amazon Plus community. And what's going on with Connie, and how does that factor into this whole thing? Because, you know, one of the things we talk about inside of OMG is that it's all connected. You know, we really try to make sure that your money getting inside of OMG is all connected, and that one thing helps the next.
Yeah, like you said, Connie was extremely active in the Amazon Plus. To my knowledge, she hadn't made much, if any, money online at all. So she was really getting her feet wet with the Amazon stuff. I remember the first time she actually sold an item, she got the item ranking. She was pumped about that. Then shortly thereafter, she sold her first few items through Amazon with the Google traffic. You know, she wasn't really selling them until she got it ranked, as far as I remember. And then that really gave her the confidence. And like you said, it's all connected. She knew she could rank items in Google. She went into an interview with a potential client and really nailed it. I believe she got a $1,500 retainer and $500 a month, she said. So, you know, that's you know, that's big, that's huge, and you know, it's just going to build from there. You know, even if you use Amazon to be your, you know, your confidence booster, you know, it's more than worth it.
Well, and
To
it's not
show
just confidence booster; it's something that you can show potential clients, and
exactly.
it's a source of real respect. I actually went in on the Facebook group and just posted. Connie, I don't think Connie's live on this webinar now, but I think it'd be real meaningful for her. If you can imagine me and Connie, and she logs into her computer and sees a bunch of notifications, just like Chris Crowley just got. Please go on and congratulate Connie, because she went out there and really taking advantage of this "it's all connected" idea. So I'd love to see folks congratulating Connie and try to tag her name, because that to me is really, really cool, how she did that. And I hope that this is a little bit, you know, we try to take many different strategies on here. But you know, I really like the idea of being able to also see how it's all connected, and how any given thing that we do can be a springboard. You know, any given move that we make can be a springboard, can move us forward. And, you know, you heard Joe Marfolio talking about it. He got clients, and then that got him, you know, thinking about things, and then he was doing affiliate marketing, and then that led to like the next thing, and so forth. And these things, you know, again, it's all connected, and it's just so very powerful. And by the way, while we're at it, I want to give a big thank you to Jim. To Jim Utzinger and to Brad Mabry for coming on and donating their time as well. And Brad's got that terrific module. It's inside of your OMG Amazon area. It's over his shoulder, and you get to see the movies he's making. A lot of people have just given us rave reviews on that. OMG is a city on a hill. It's a really special thing that we have going on here. Not just that backbone of that Greg Morrison coaching on SEO with supercharged with Jimmy Kelly's understandings of domain authority and the other crazy things that he knows, but also all these methods that we have for turning that for turning that SEO into money, into profits in our pocket. And Brad, we're not just looking for big big sales numbers. We're looking for profits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny. A lot of the gurus you see online, they only post what they bring in. But my question to them always is, okay, what'd you clear off of that? What kind of money are you actually making take home? You've got to really look at margins. Anytime I look at a product that I'm potentially going to sell, I always look at margins and not the final value of the product. It sounds good. If you say you sold a $3,000 item, yeah, that's great. But if you end up making $10 off of it, you might as well sell a $100 item.
Yeah, no, and a lot of people lose money. I mean, it's
Easily.
People who are fearing saturation. If you're inside of the Amazon marketplace alone and you don't have an unfair advantage and you feel like the walls are closing in around you, you're right. I hate to say it, but with Alibaba coming out and doing the big IPO and more people buying Amazon products and flocking to Amazon and buying from Alibaba and going on there, and they're just like trying to jam 1,000 pounds of water or 1,000 gallons of water into a 1-gallon jug. I mean, there's only so much opportunity, and the opportunity is going to get taken advantage of by the old guard, by the people that have been around and the people with big pockets to invest and to buy up lots of phony reviews and sad. I hate seeing it. Big advertising budgets and so forth. And these are a lot of your competition, if you're just in the Amazon marketplace, Brad, is they're willing to make 10 cents. Who even knows what their profit motive is? A lot of them are willing to lose money because they're just trying to build out their brand.
Yep.
So I really again, we don't want to get caught up in all that stuff. We want to focus on profits. And you know what? The worst thing in this is people can wind up missing out on a golden opportunity because there is a golden opportunity on Amazon, on Google. I really want people to understand that. Now, Brad, let's jump back in time. Your first 60 days inside of OMG, as you set the foundation for where you're at today. What were your first 60 days like? What were the things that influenced you? What are the things that changed for you as you spent that first week and the first month and your first several weeks inside of OMG?
Yeah, well, actually, I jumped in, to OMG back when it was NHB, when it first came out. And at that point, I really, I wanted to set up a PBN the right way. There were a few courses out there showing you how to set up a PBN, but, I really wanted to see, the Greg Morrison way. And that's honestly the best way I've seen. So, I took that information and I started, that's before I had actually, really gotten my feet ultra wet with Amazon and higher DA properties. So I really focused on building out my PBN and got that up and running, and that allowed me to rank these e-commerce sites that I had. And I could rank it with a couple PBN links and call it a day. And then orders would start flowing in. And then when I jumped in Project X, I really wanted to. I had gotten into Amazon at that point. I really wanted to master the stuff that Jimmy Kelly was teaching, and really master GSA, which I have now, and really hit that home, and that really amped up my Amazon earnings. And then you combine that with the PBNs, and you're essentially unstoppable at that point.
Yeah, you really have. That's one of the reasons why I talk about, and I'm glad for what you said. There's lots of people out there who just don't have Greg Morrison and Jimmy Kelly, and they'll say that a link is a link, and that anchor text is anchor text, and they're crazy. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, you just as likely to submarine your rankings as you are to gain them. and so much of the value is by getting those top rankings. And remember, you don't just have to rank with, as Brad was pointing out, you don't just have to rank with your Amazon page. You can also rank with your, you can rank with YouTube videos and point those YouTube videos and get people clicking on those and going over to your Amazon page. You can rank with your web pages like Jim Utzinger was talking about. You can do the same thing with Weebly's. There's lots and lots of ways. Yep.
You can list your same item on eBay too. I've got a few items. I've got the eBay and the Amazon listing up. So, I split those sales pretty much 50-50. So,
so what you're saying is that there oftentimes is as much for you on eBay as on Amazon.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I sell, quite a bit. I started on eBay, way back in the day, just listing items there, not, of course, doing it the OMG way. But I was experimenting because I hadn't heard of really too many people ranking an eBay listing. So I just hammered that with GSA. A few months later, it was up and running. So
yeah, I really like that. I got a funny comment from Gregory Ortiz. I'm gonna probably bring Gregory live to kind of preview what Sunday Fun Day is going to be about this weekend. But I'll share his comment in just a second. I try to keep these acceleration webinars to right around the 2 hour mark. But we're gonna spill a little bit over here, and that's okay. I want to point out that you can, and again, this is not something that's associated with OMG, but we definitely endorse it. If I go to bradmabry.org, then Brad's got a few extra offerings that he has here that are really nifty. At bradmabry.org. And most especially, there's some really great GSA services that Brad has, but he also has just tremendous one-on-one coaching. And it's right here. You can do one-on-one opportunities to consult with him and get more. There's a testimonial here from Brian Magnosi. By the way, Brian's another top gun inside of OMG. I know a lot of people really like him. He's just tremendous success, $50,000 a month. And Brian is hitting on multiple streams of income. He's also doing Amazon as well at this point, Brad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually helped him get started with that. So, he just took it and ran with it. And then he's, of course, master of, landing clients as well. So Brian's real sharp.
No, don't get me started on Brian. He's an absolute ace. Wonderful man too. So if you go to bradmabry.org, this is one of the things I just give my 2 thumbs up to. I strongly endorse it. And if you're really interested in this, there's no reason not to book at least 1 or 2 or 3 hour consulting session and getting your feet wet going that direction. So that's bradmabry.org, and I recommend that, and that's open and closed periodically. Definitely valuable. Someone's asking what GSA is. GSA is a link getting tool that we teach inside of OMG that Jimmy Kelly teaches. And if you don't have your blueprint yet, that's one of the things that you're going to run into. So you're going to want to email me at omg@omgmachines.com to get access. Just ask me for your blueprint, and that's on a Google Drive document, and I will get you set up on that. I think that'll really help you going forward, really help you get started. What I want to do to close out this event, I'm going to bring Gregory Ortiz live. I have had so much fun with this, and I want to find out, Joe, are you still live? Let me find out if Joe's still live. I should have checked before I asked.
Yeah, let me just plug my earphones back in.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, what's happening?
Joe, we've talked, someone who's watching this, their brains might be getting scrambled because money's coming here, money's going there, money's going everywhere. And they're thinking, I just want to make some money. But the thing is, Joe, there's a lot of money being spent out there. I mean, you hear about the Great Recession and the economy, and I don't think the economy is that good. But I'll tell you something that David Mills' grandma told him, and it's kind of shaped us during this big, long economic drought. She said, she told David that their family during the Great Depression, they did pretty good. And the reality is right now, Joe, there is a lot of money being spent in the world. I mean, it's flying around. people are, you're helping people do fishing expeditions and, buying all kinds of luxury items and, doing renovations in the San Diego area and all kinds of stuff. Money is being spent in all these different routes. They can help you get started like Connie did. She just did a couple of sales on Amazon, through Google with our OMG methods there. And that gave her the confidence to walk in to a client and close our first client and start making some money. There's so many different ways to have success with this.
Oh yeah, I mean, one of the things when I got started, I had several businesses. I had a large import business I sold in 2008. Then from there I had a foreclosure cleanup business. And I always try to think of, what business are going to be sustainable in the economy, whether it's up or down. And when I got into internet marketing, I thought, man, I was thinking of a few different things. I was even thinking about going back to school and being a lawyer. And then I said, you know what, I don't need to do any of that. I could rank a site and sell the leads to a bankruptcy lawyer if the economy is really bad. Or no matter what's going on in the world, people always need to market their product. People always need to buy things. And I mean, look, in this webinar, how many things were covered of ways to make money? Each one of these things is a six-figure-a-year business, and it's amazing that. And one thing I like about this group that is totally unique than any other group, and I think it's why it's so successful, is you don't mind taking people's successes and promoting it. It's like you have different people, they have different products, and you don't mind promoting it. It's not like you close it off. And my suggestion to people is, take one aspect of it and just start doing it. If you're going to do Amazon and make money at it. If you're going to do client consulting, do it and make money. But no matter how bad the economy is, you could definitely thrive because you're a marketer.
Yeah. I mean, there's just never been, it's one of the things that makes me. I'll take one last swipe at this idea of Amazon only or Amazon with crappy Google techniques, because that's really amounts to the same thing. The Amazon marketplace is so small and it's so saturated just in and of itself. But then when you open up like Google, I mean, there has never been a money getting opportunity ever like Google, Joe. I mean, there's nothing like it has ever existed in world history.
Oh, no, exactly. I mean, if you can get something on the first page of Google, which we can do, it's like the money just starts, it starts rolling in. Like you said, I have a tour business I started down here, and it's like, all I did was rank a website. I partnered with a guy who's in that business, and we start, I make money at it because I can market. I don't need to know all the different tour companies. I have a guy who does it, and I market it, and we split the profit. It's like, so, and if you can get something on Google, it's amazing. And all you have to do is, if you're thinking Amazon, I mean, just look at what's going on in the world. Look at what people are concerned about. Look at different things, and you can make a product so easy. You can ghostwrite something. You can there's different ways that's brought out how you can do it, and if you can rank that, you got money coming in.
Yeah, I love that, Joe. I love that. I thought that was a good perspective on things. Brad, before you head out, and I really appreciate you jumping on. You were at OMG Live Nashville last year. Can you give people a sneak peek? What are some of the things that helped you take advantage of that event? Why did you go, and how was it for you?
I mean, initially I decided to go because of all the hype around the high domain authority type stuff, and that's why I wanted to go learn. And you guys really delivered on that with Jimmy. He brought in how to kind of sculpt and mold page authority, domain authority, and really I had in my mind that I wanted to focus more on Amazon, and I went in with that goal, that mindset, and that's what I learned, and I took that and ran with it after that, and just took me to the next level. So it's just the feeling that you're there, or that you have when you're there, you get to meet everyone that you've seen, you know, through the Facebook group. You can, make strategic partnerships, all that good stuff. But just the stuff that's covered, and it's just the whole event is completely amazing.
No, we're looking forward to seeing you there in a few weeks, Brad.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, what I want to do here is I want to grab, and thanks again to Brad, and let's jump into the Facebook thread, and let me, I really want to thank Brad again, because he really just helped so many people have success, and just really appreciate him coming on. What I want to do here is I want to grab one last person out of the audience that I saw. Hopefully, is still on. I'm going to grab Gregory Ortiz here. And Gregory, you've met a lot of people who've been around the block with OMG for a while. Some that started beginners, some that started, already having had some success. Gregory was, he started as a beginner, but also just very recently, just a few months back. And yet he's really, really thriving at this point. And having super success, ranks number one for his city SEO, and he's building out his guide site, and he's been a wonderful contributive. Cotton Grammar really helped point him in the right direction, and now he's helping other people get their earnings reports. He got one from Alexander Robinson the other day, one from Connie Benz, from Chris Crowley, who we just met earlier. Gregory, are you there?
Hey, Mike. I'm here.
All right, let me just pull up Gregory's picture so you can see him. Gregory, what do we? What's this whole Sunday Funday thing about, and what do we have on tap this week for it?
Yeah, so for those who haven't been a part of Sunday Funday, pretty much every Sunday, and the day may change maybe 1 week or two here and there, just so some people who can't make a Sunday can attend. But generally, it's on Sundays at 4 o'clock. And what I do is I just
4 o'clock Eastern time.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 4 o'clock Eastern time. And what I do is I host a free-for-all where anyone can just jump in, ask any questions you have about anything. Now, I, of course, don't know everything, but thankfully some of the other aces jump in there and they're able to answer questions that I may not know. So you're able to just go in and ask questions about anything, no matter if it's something that you may consider beginner or something advanced. We try to get them answered as quickly as possible. There's some people who have asked questions in the past that I haven't had an answer to at that point. And what I do is I just make sure I get back to them sometime later that day, because I reach out to people who I know know the answer to that, just to help get everyone started on the right track to begin with. Just like Mike said, I started about 5 months ago, and I remember when I first got started, at first I felt a little bit overwhelmed. I'm like, oh my God, there's so much information, there's so many questions that I have, where can I ask? And of course you can ask them in the NHB group, but at the same time I kind of felt like, I'm kind of new, I'm a little afraid to ask these questions that, may sound too amateurish for everyone else. And of course that's not the case in the group. And after I learned that for a while, I'm like, let's put something else out there too, where people can just feel comfortable, be surrounded by, people who are beginners as well, and they're able to just ask any questions that they have. And that's kind of how
these questions get answered, unlike let's say Greg and Fletch when they do office hours. This is all text based. It's all right here. And you can see, and one of the nice things is you can read through the previous ones if you dig through a little bit. This one that we had this last week had over 250 questions and answers, and we have Dave Keys here, somebody who's having a lot of success piled in. He answered questions. Mary Semmer was in here; she was answering questions. Gerald Ferguson, by the way, who's now making around $40,000 a month with his embroidery business since he's joined OMG. He was in there answering questions. So really, really valuable stuff going on here. And there's Chris right here. I've been taking action, but feel more confident in taking more actions and risks. And she did. And hopefully most assuredly she'll continue taking things to the next level. Yeah, Zeed's here. He got his first rankings this week. So this stuff is really great. And I highly recommend that you jump in on Sunday Fun Day. This week is going to be at 4 p.m. Eastern. That's 1 p.m. Pacific. So it's a little sneak preview. It's text-based. You can just jump in there, ask your questions, write down your questions beforehand, and just come in and be a part of that. And congratulations on all the success that you're having, Gregory.
Thank you very much. It wouldn't have been possible without all you guys. So thank you.
You're looking forward to joining us at OMG Live as well.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. Bought my tickets 2 months ago. I'm super excited. Of course, my wife and son will be there. They won't be at OMG Live, obviously, but they'll be staying in the same hotel. So some of you guys will get to meet
Your
them as
wife's
well
actually
after
starting to
hours.
help you now. She's actually starting to help in your business as well. So that's
Oh
a
yeah.
really cool thing. All right. Well, anyways, I want to thank everybody for jumping on this event. It ran a little over 2 hours. I tried to keep it to an hour and a half or 2 hours, but sometimes it just overflows and explodes with all the good things going on. So I want to jump here, and I want to thank Gregory Ortiz
Thank you very much.
for coming live on this event. It's supposed to be thank you, Gregory Ortiz, but you guys can all understand that. And please jump in here and thank Gregory. And of course, if you haven't had the chance yet, or if you want to thank him again, please thank Joe Marfolio, Carrie Duke, David Hood was on this event. We had Brad Mabry. We had Chris Crowley jump in. We had Jim Messenger. I mean, this was a packed house today. We had a great time on this event. And remember, we'll go through some of these links. If you don't have your blueprint yet, you can email me at omg@omgmachines.com, and I'll set you up with your blueprint. We covered the first 60 days that Brad had, and that David Hood had. We talked about that a little bit with Joe and with Jim, so that was very valuable. We talked about what they're doing today and what they see coming forward in the future. We learned about keywords, that there's lots and lots and lots more keywords available in Google in the long tail, the longer phrases and so forth. There's a lot more traffic in those keywords than we might have known and might have realized. We even talked about the vSilo tool, which we're going to be featuring more and more, very powerful. We started getting into this whole local CPA thing, which is kind of a fusion of local client consulting and affiliate marketing. It's a little bit more hands off, but still very powerful. Joe Marfolio came on, really opened our eyes, and Kerry jumped on right on top of that, and he's got that great reveal in there. So much value there. And then Jim Messenger queued us up for Amazon, really understanding that Amazon plus Google, the OMG way, is really big. Brad also revealed that eBay plus Google, the OMG way, also extremely powerful, that you can get in even without having a product. We saw with Connie that you can get in without having a product, build some confidence, make some commissions, and take that to the next level. Chris Crowley came on, talked about Sunday Funday. She came in and had started having success, and we previewed Sunday Funday. We talked about OMG Live Nashville, which is just a really special event, a very special experience. It's funny. I was just at a really big event this weekend. If I go to my to my page, I put up a couple pictures from that event. But this was a massive event with 600 or more people in the audience. You can't see it there. It's a big, huge stage, big, huge room. And at that event, I talked about talent. I really just bragged on OMG is mostly what I did. Hard not to. But that's a big, huge ballroom, like in one of the biggest casinos. OMG Live isn't like that. It's a small event. It's very intimate and close and easy to get along with everybody. Me and Greg and David Mills will be there with you side by side, shoulder to shoulder at the meals and during the events and during the breaks. Just around. So definitely take a look at joining OMG Live Nashville if you haven't. David Hood brought up his alphadestruction.com. If you're really into client consulting, I highly recommend it. We looked at bradmabry.org if you're interested in Amazon plus Google, the OMG way. It's extremely valuable. Also more on GSA there. So we covered an incredible gamut here. We walked you through your members area. We covered so much today. I want to thank you for hanging in there with me, hanging out with me today. This has been a very, very special event, whether you're brand new to OMG and you're drinking out of the fire hose, you're embracing your overwhelm, you're taking advantage of your wonderful orientation area with David Mills and your law of implication training. There's just so much going on here. I'm just going to give a hashtag city on a hill here. OMG is a city on a hill. It's a place where friends come together in Providence. It's a very talented bunch, and we try to identify acquire, nurture, and keep our talent. We don't want people running off and not being a part of our community. So we really try to be inclusive and open and sharing. We care about you very much. I prayed for you today before the event. We give the Lord's Prayer at the beginning of the event. So I really care about you. Really care about your success. Celine says she's really excited about the international Facebook group. Well, that I might even kick that off later tonight. So this is going to be really exciting. It's not that people from America can't be in the international group. Everyone can be in it. So that's going to be something very, very exciting. We have lots and lots going on. It is all happening at OMG. And I just really want to thank everybody. Please jump in on this thread. We still have well over 100 people live, over 2 hours into things. So jump online. Stephanie says, thanks, Mike. I love you guys so much. I love you too, Stephanie. Really want to see you have extraordinary, extraordinary success. Carol Callie said, thank you. Gregory Ortiz and Mike Long, you're most welcome. Sheila, great to have been live for the first time with fellow OMGers. Thanks for the amazing energy and inspiration. Thank you, Sheila. Chris said, Chris who got her first client. Thanks, Gregory Ortiz and Mike Long. Great, Webby. Joanne said, thanks, Gregory, Brad, Joe, Jeff, Joe, Carrie, Jim, David, and Mike, Chris, Christina, and all the others. Awesome info and paying it forward. Definitely paying it forward here. Really, really enjoyed having you come on here. Clifford says, drinking from the fire hose and loving it. Listen, guys and gals, embrace your overwhelm. Overwhelm is the feeling of your brain growing stronger to accommodate new information. There's two big things about that. One is, if you realize it's a skill to embrace your overwhelm. If you feel overwhelmed, that is because much like when somebody goes and works out, they pump iron, then their muscles are sore. Why? Because their muscles are growing stronger to accommodate, providing greater power. Okay. Well, that is literally the physical feeling of overwhelm is the feeling of your brain getting stronger. Unfortunately, culturally, we have been taught to fear overwhelm, and that's a real unfortunate thing. But the good news is that when you're feeling overwhelmed, it means that your competitors who are outside of OMG are feeling that competition and they quit. So whenever you're feeling overwhelmed, two things are going on. One is you're getting stronger and your competition is quitting. So the very last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say #embrace overwhelm, because it's the feeling of you getting smarter and the feeling of your competition quitting. All right, embrace overwhelm, because it's the feeling of you getting smarter and it's the feeling of your competition quitting. I want to thank everybody for jumping on live here. We've had a wonderful, wonderful event. OMG is a city on a hill. It's a place where friends come together in Providence. Looking forward to joining us next time. We'll have another acceleration webinar most certainly in the next week or so. You'll have office hours coming up with Greg and with Fletch. So watch that. Look out for Sunday Fun Day. Check your latest news thread, your latest news feed. That is that along with your orientation area. That's your touchstone. Want you to be able to really, really take advantage of that. And thank you so much. We've got lots and lots and lots of comments on this event. Let's see how many. I don't know how many comments. 167 comments. That's crazy. That's more than one comment for every person. Really, really appreciate it, everyone. Thank you guys so much. God bless you. And I will see you on the inside of OMG. OMG is a city on a hill. It's a place where friends come together in Providence. God bless you.